You are now listening to The Sports Table.
This is gonna be fun, man. That swag is back, baby.
Yeah. It's on the wrong.
Swag is back.
What team
It's
are you in the wrong
from the
area?
same university.
What
the same
team?
university.
Doesn't mean anything.
With Chris,
Would you have sex with that deer?
Dio Carlos,
Who is Ed Block? I'm a Dolphin fan. Been one since '71. Don't know Ed Block.
Alan,
Combination of choke and suffocation via teat.
and Theo George. Because here, nothing is off the table.
Can't say swag is back.
Swag is back.
No, swag is back when football does.
Swag is back.
Swag is back my ass.
You're wasting your talent, Randy. Yeah. Ready?
It's like I'm paranoid, looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside is right.
Come on.
Why does it look like night today? Something inside's not right today. Why am I so uptight today? Paranoia's all I got left. I don't know what stressed me first, or how the pressure was fed. But I know just what it feels like to have a voice in the back of my head. It's like a face that I hold inside. Face that awakes when I close my eyes. Face that watches.
Why are we listening to this for so long?
Every time they fall.
I don't know. I've never heard this song before, so I was actually just listening.
We played a big. Thank you.
He talked all over. He talked all over. The
I know,
video,
and I like the music. Now I gotta listen to this.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you, Alan.
I don't even understand what they're saying.
We are back to the sports table. What a way to start the show with George complaining. But we are here. We're back after another week. Listen, everyone, congratulations. I think this is show 20?
20.
Yep.
Today's 20.
The big 2-0. And I think it's very positive because we haven't missed a show in over, 2 months?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit since the show has skipped a week. So very good by all of us here. And, of course, the scheduling from our work, so we are free. But we're back. Show 20, guys. Show 20. That's 20 weeks in a row. Before we get to this music, which, by the way, Alan, just get into this music.
Huh?
What are we listening to?
Oh, we're listening to Jay-Z and Linkin Park, the Collision Course album. This one being Big Pimpin' and I believe Paper Cut.
It
That's
is.
the Linkin Park song.
Right. Now, Jay-Z is one of the biggest rappers that are there. Is Linkin Park considered the same thing for rock? Because why else would you collaborate with people that are mediocre?
I think they were going into their third album, having come off the original one that everybody knew, a remix album, and then a hit second album.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of they were a big deal at the time, and MTV I think started doing these like Collision Course type things with different genre artists coming together. But that one ended up being a full album rather than just like a show that they had one night.
Right.
So yeah, that was and of the other ones I heard, I think there was a Ludacris one with Sum 41. And as you start listing them, they start going down the tiers of musical artists. So this was the highest one they had.
Wow. It's a good album. I mean, it's just songs that they mix it together. That's actually kind of sort of grown that music genre of composition where people are taking tracks from other songs and mixing it into their own and overlapping. So I guess that's where it started. It's the most famous one, Jay-Z and Linkin Park. But we're back here, Sports Table. A lot to get to today in sports, but just to sort of go over what we've been through. Theo Carlos is here in studio.
Woo.
Theo George is here in studio.
Hey.
Barely. Alan is here. And we have a special guest. We have another guest with us. His name is Anthony, Theo Carlos' son. Anthony's been talked about many times before. He was one of the ones that were on purpose. Anthony, go ahead and say something into the mic. Glad you can make it with us.
I've been wanting to make it for a few weeks, but this is the first week I actually got to make it.
There you go. Anthony's a big fisherman. And Anthony, really quick, who's your favorite team and who's your favorite player and why for football?
The Broncos.
Into the mic.
My Broncos is the favorite team because of Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning's my favorite quarterback.
So you're a bandwagon guy.
No, he likes commercials.
Yeah, you're a bandwagon
Let's
because you
go
left the
cut
Colts,
that
right?
meat.
You left the Colts, right?
Cut that
only
meat.
because of Pain Man.
Exactly.
Let's go
Exactly.
insurance and justice.
That's the kind.
Let's
Those are the
go.
kind of principles that Theo Carlos preaches in his household. So let that be known. If Dan Marino, Theo George, if Dan Marino went to the Redskins, would you have been a Redskins fan?
If
No.
Marino goes to the Jets, he's a Jet fan.
No. Me? No.
If he leaves in 1985 or 86,
No.
absolutely. You're already in love with him. You're not letting him go.
No. He is the only man I love.
Those are the principles taught at the Blanco household. Let the record state.
That's right. Fiedler, Marino, follow him wherever he goes.
I,
That didn't happen with Jason Taylor. That didn't happen with Jason Taylor.
No, Jason,
If that happens with Dwayne Wade, if Dwayne Wade leaves,
No.
Depends on where it
well,
goes.
not for you.
Depends. If it goes to the Knicks,
I'll always
well,
I'll always have a place in my heart for Dwayne.
Yeah.
He revitalized Heat basketball.
Is he so? Dan Marino's your favorite athlete?
My favorite Dolphin quarterback.
Okay. Well, you're
Not even your
amongst-
favorite Dolphin?
that's a lot of
you're-
qualifiers. man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other Dolphin quarterbacks are who?
Me, you, yeah. He's probably my favorite Dolphin player. Probably
Okay.
my favorite Dolphin player.
So he's not your favorite athlete.
You know what?
then.
I was a really big Mercury Morris fan. I really enjoyed watching him run when I was young. But I guess more contemporary wide, Marino played a lot longer. Was highly successful.
Okay. Well, I mean, the other Dolphin quarterbacks, just the other Hall of Famers are Bob Greasy, which
Cleo Lemon.
I have so many stories about Bob Greasy. Really quick, funny one. He's the one of the color guys for the Dolphin radio broadcast. He just switched over. And he still does the preseason games on TV.
Right.
But now he does the Dolphins radio broadcast along with Joe Rose and Jimmy Cephalo. And his first season basically, he's feeling each other out. It's terrible. It's a terrible broadcast. I run the broadcast. I have I'm at a certain vantage point where I could see, and Bob Greasy, they need to get rid of him. They need to get rid of Bob Greasy for a lot of reasons, but this is one of the examples why. Is when Chad Henne was the quarterback, and Chad Henne makes like a 20-yard pass to an out route for a big first down. It was like 4th and 8, something like that. And Bob Greasy goes on the air and says, "Do you know who that reminds me of? That reminds me of Bob Greasy."
I don't remember that.
Greasy said that about
Greasy
himself.
said it reminded him of him.
Greasy referenced himself in the third person as on a compliment.
You know what? He
Wow.
just went up the ladder on announcers. That was pretty funny. I like that innate dumbness.
Terrible. That's terrible. And Jimmy Cephalo, I know you worked with Jimmy Cephalo. I think Jimmy Cephalo would be better used. You know who should be the play-by-play guy? Jesse Agler, the guy that we had on the radio from the Finsiders.
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job. He does the preseason play-by-play, which I think eventually they're going to lead him onto. And Jimmy should move over to color. Because Jimmy, as a play-by-play guy, he has great little bits here and there, but most of the time and the Dolphins got, touchdown Miami! Ronnie Brown. No, Ricky, check that. No, they're not even on the team, Reggie Bush. That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's not. I agree. I think he would do much better in the.
Oh,
in the
I think
color
he'd be
role.
great,
In the
actually,
color
in the color role.
They announced touchdowns for Dolphin games.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
They will this year.
Did you catch the
I was
one?
gonna say.
They did it 17 times in 16 games last year.
They will
Heck
this
yeah.
year.
It's so sad. It's like the Marlin statistics of the home runs.
Listen to the eternal optimist. They will this year.
That's right.
Hopefully more than 17 times, George.
Okay, impromptu segment. I mean, we have other stuff to get to. There's a girl apparently we have to talk to. I have no idea why, which I'm going to learn with the rest of the audience. But before that, 20 shows together. And it's really been, we've known each other longer than 20 shows because it's hours before, in between, and after. We did one show before we started recording. We've texted back and forth. We all have a pretty good feel, the four of us, on who we are. And I just want to say, Alan, I'll ask you first. If you were to describe George in a sentence on just his overall either contribution or fandom or his sports knowledge, how would you describe George?
Huh?
Well put.
It wasn't even a sentence. It was just a
Yeah, there's
A
a period
grunt.
at the end.
I don't think that was a word.
no. It was a grunt.
Look, if I had the sound of yes, yes, no, I mean yes, I mean no, definitely last night. I mean no.
That's
That
how
I
it
would
would
have played
be.
that.
That's how it would be. What about Theo Carlos, you for Alan? Because you have certain outlets.
Feelings.
Geekdom.
Yes. You want me to feed that? I went to a Comic-Con this weekend.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
It proves him
more,
right.
What more can I say?
I even got the snazzy shirt, by the way.
Theo George. I'll do Theo Carlos next. Theo Carlos, whenever he gets angry, it's my favorite. Whenever Theo Carlos gets upset and he gets on his little rants, they're not little because they can go on. It's hilarious. The first one is still one of my favorite ones when you talk about Ed Block. It's in the show opener. I'll re-listen to that segment over and over because we're talking about the Courage Award.
The Courage Award.
And whenever Carlos wants to emphasize something, he repeats it. He'll go, the Courage Award. The Courage Award. He'll just repeat it to emphasize it, which is great, So I just wanted to see how we've known each other and we've grown basically as a show and as partners for 20 shows. So congrats, everybody.
Congrats.
Great.
Well, let me ask George. George, I'm the only one that hasn't been judged yet. I leave it to your worthy vocabulary.
Impressive.
There you go.
Impressed.
Wow.
Go on, Doc.
I want the 20.
It's true. It's true. I'm taken by how well he does this.
There you go. Appreciate it, Theo.
He's very good at controlling the environment. Which
Yeah.
in this zoo,
control
it's very,
freak.
very important in this zoo.
Well, let me control some more and go into a segment that I have no control over because I don't know what the hell the story is. So apparently something happened with baseball, hot baseball wife. You guys, I guess, lay it on for me.
All right, Ana Benson. Ana Benson, very highly thought of baseball wife. In fact, considered at one point one of the most attractive baseball wives in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
Married to
Benson played for the Mets.
to Chris Benson, who played for the Mets and played for the Orioles earlier in his career.
Got you.
She and Chris are having difficulties. In fact, they're getting a divorce. They haven't been lived together for quite a while now. And Chris was at home in Atlanta. Obviously, they live in different homes now. And Anna decided to visit Chris, except she didn't tell him. And she visited. She showed up at the house wearing a bulletproof jacket, bulletproof vest, with a bag inside, wearing all black. And in her bag, she had a hatchet. She had a judge gun, which is the largest, most powerful handgun you can buy. She had a police asp, which is a collapsible baton that can crack kneecaps at the swing of it.
Used by the Secret Service.
Used by Secret Service and police, military. And she had a bag full of syringes. Let that simmer for a while. What is Anna planning to do to Chris? When she breaks into the house, Chris confronts her in the living room and asks her what's going on, and she asks him if she can get him a cigarette. Chris is really a bright guy because at the vision of seeing the gun in her hand, the asp hanging off her,
She actually had the gun in her hand?
yeah, and the asp hanging from her waist, and noticing that she had on a bulletproof vest and a heavy bag. At this point, Chris said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get you," and took off, and went and hid in the basement and made a 7.5-minute call, 911, which is being played all over the place.
Oh, hey,
And
it's
the
You
majestic.
should have told me. I would have
It's-
found the audio.
It's majestic because it's so unusually calm.
He's
I'm gonna
so
go find it.
he
he's
tells-
so cool.
He tells the operator, "Yes, my soon to be wife or my soon to be ex-wife is brandishing
What was his
a
name?
gun."
Chris what?
Chris Benson,
Like who uses the word
KRIS.
brandishing?
brandishing
A gun, brandishing a weapon. Ugh.
And she asked, so she walked in and asked him,
Yeah, she wanted a cigarette.
well, she asked for a
Yeah,
cigarette.
they were, I guess, calmly
She just
discussing
really likes her cigarettes. that's
discussing
all.
his demise, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
She the things that she was planning to do with a hatchet, syringes,
The hatchet and the gun seem self-explanatory. The baton and syringes,
The
where it
baton-
gets a little weird.
No, the baton is to subdue him. A couple of shots to the
The
knees.
syringes
drop.
don't make no sense.
Well, the
No.
syringes make a lot of sense because we don't know what's in the syringes. It could be something to paralyze him, to stop his heart, something just to put him in the position where she can draw blood from. Maybe she's just going to take all his blood.
Maybe she's gonna ruin his career and jam him full of steroids and leave him there.
But wait a second. What was she there for?
A joder.
Nobody
To
knows.
to mess him up.
Nobody knows. He calls the cops, and she ends
Did she
up.
get arrested?
Yeah, she ends up sitting on the porch waiting for the cops, and the cops all show up. They all draw a weapon. She comes up. They come up to her, and she's got all that stuff with her, and she says, Chris Benson is a bleeping vagina. My ex-husband is a bleeping vagina.
While Chris is hiding in the forest behind the house.
behind
Like
the
he
house.
got out of the basement and just ran to the trees.
I can't believe that.
It's
There's so many levels of this story.
There's some crazy people in the world.
She has an arsenal of torture devices.
She got that. Where do you get this stuff? Like a Psycho store? It's the same people from. It's the same guy that went to Denver was dressed up in black and white and into the movie theater. It's the same thing.
Well, it depends. Are you talking about how legitimate was the bulletproof vest? Because I can get
I have
one.
no idea.
There's probably
she
crappy one.
she says she got it from a company that she's working with that she's trying out bulletproof vests for, and she was molding it. It's a new high-tech bulletproof vest.
Oh my god!
It molds to her breast.
Yes, the longer you have it on, the more it molds to your body shape. So I guess it was she said she had to wear it. That was her excuse for having it. She was wearing it so it would mold more to her body because she's going to be doing ads for it.
And the hatchet?
His head?
Which one?
Severing his
Which
head?
one?
And the reason for having the largest gun you could buy?
Filling his body with holes?
Now she doesn't look to be a very tall person or a big person. How is she able to carry a bag like that? I'm figuring that the duffel bag's getting dragged onto the floor.
That's a decade of using Chris's money for shopping, man.
And anger and the fact that money won't be there anymore, and
Well, listen, I have the audio. Let's listen to the audio.
Listen to the audio. It's very mellow.
Smyrna 911, where's your emergency? Smyrna 911.
Hey, Smyrna, it's Cobb. He said it was...
Okay, what seems to be going on?
He said he needed the police there. When I transferred him over, I don't know if he hung up.
Okay, do you have a good contact number for him? Okay, and he didn't give you any further?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll try and give you a call.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bye.
Smyrna 911.
This is Tabitha transfer addresses.
What's going on?
Yes, are you there?
Yes, what's going on?
Yes, my going-to-be ex-wife is
Going
into
to
my
be.
house, and she's brandishing a gun.
Brandishing.
She has a gun?
Yes,
Where is she right now?
she's in the house, and I'm downstairs in the basement.
What, has she threatened you with that gun?
Yes,
Hold on for me one moment, okay?
yes.
Oh, relax. It's
All
so
right,
mellow.
what does she look like?
She's got long hair. She's wearing black,
Is she white or black female?
white female,
How old is she?
30s.
Does she live there?
No,
What? Okay, what is she wearing?
she's wearing a bulletproof vest.
She's wearing a bulletproof vest?
Yes,
And she threatened you with a gun?
correct.
Is that your ex-wife?
Soon-to-be ex-wife.
After this,
Going through divorce.
that is
Okay, why don't you stay with me on the phone? You said you're down in the basement. Who else is in the house with you?
Nobody, just me and her.
Okay.
I just got my hand on the back door in case I hear her come down the stairs.
okay. I'm gonna stop it right there.
A coward.
That's funny.
I tell you what, either that guy has ice in his veins or he's from the same mutant cyborg gene pool that I am with no emotions. Because holy crap.
No, he can't freak out. I mean, listen, how many times is he? This sign. This might be the most explosive she's ever been, but he's seen this side of her.
Yeah,
before.
absolutely.
I'm
you
sure.
Can tell. You could tell. She's psychotic.
Yeah, so there's. I feel like he's gone through this before, where he's like, maybe not be the police, but he's contacting his wife or her mother. Hey, listen, Anna's acting crazy again. She threw a Chef Boyardee at me, and I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like there's no way this is the first time that he's gone through this. That's why I feel he's been so calm. Oh, really? You're in a bulletproof vest? I told you.
Giant gun and hatchet.
Giant gun and hatchet.
Giant gun and hatchet. That's a level where I'm not staying calm.
Maybe that hasn't been the first time. Maybe that hasn't been the first time. Maybe this is the upgrade. You know, when you're playing a video game and you upgrade into weapons, this is the final level. Maybe before it was a baseball bat.
The last boss.
Yeah, no, seriously, it was. So this lady, she got arrested. Apparently, I'm reading it right here. She got arrested, and yeah, that's all it says basically. One criminal count of trespassing, one count of possession of a firearm, and yeah. So and she looks terrible in this
Your
photo. by the
mugshot.
way.
Well, it's a
Oh,
mugshot.
yeah. Let me see.
Mugshots are not
George has to
The
respect.
the only one I've seen that's decent is Paris Hilton's mugshot.
Really?
Yeah. Aside from that, they don't. And I'm not a big Paris fan, so
Nah.
either way don't matter to me.
She shows up like that, I'm calling the cops.
Bulletproof vest or not, it looks like Frankenstein.
If she looks like that coming up to the front of my door, I'm calling the cops.
Why would you open the door to begin with?
The Swamp Thing has showed up to the front of my house. I have to show you this, and apparently she has syringes. That's crazy. That is not. So Chris Benson now, we're all guys here. Anthony, you're a guy. You'll know this eventually. How does this go over with the boys? How does this go over with the boys when they hear this phone call and they say, yo, your wife had you downstairs and she was going to whoop your ass?
And you had your hand on the back door to run out.
I'm sure he's going to get flag from the.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So how does this go over?
I think he will. He'll get a lot of crap from his friends.
I think it'll be very, very hard in that locker room. If he's still playing, I don't even know if he's playing yet.
I don't know.
But if he's playing, that locker room is going to be fun for the next few months for them.
I'm sure.
Know there's going to be a lot of, hide, Chris! Anna's here! Or you hear a lot of noise. Anna's here, run!
Or leave syringes in his
Exactly.
locker.
Right.
Oh, you can't do that in baseball. Everybody will start believing you're a steroid.
You can get the turkey syringes. When Barry Bonds came back from his sort of view, they were throwing turkey syringes, the big plastic ones, onto the field next to him.
The big turkey baster?
Yeah. Alan, how would you go if you were him and you open it up and you have a soon-to-be ex-wife walking towards you with the bag of goodies?
Well, first off, I don't trust anyone who shows any form of instability. And if they show up at my door, I'm not answering. If I see a hatchet, I'm out.
I'm not answering.
I'm out. I'm done. And if I know I'm going to a locker room where I'm going to get crap, I am finding replicas of all the things that made me scared and run out. I'm just going to drop it in front of people. You run from that. You tell me what you do when you see that.
It's true. It's a fair point. I mean, Theo George, you're a man of few words, but how would you take this?
I would be scared. You don't know what that crazy girl is going to do.
I mean, I know your ex-wife isn't like this. You have an ex-wife. Well, I mean, what if this were to happen? I mean,
I'd run away, just like you did. I hide in the basement. You crazy?
It's.
I don't care what I get. The everything that I get in the locker room, I still don't care. I still hide.
Yeah, the trees were very, very good place to be.
Yeah.
Is this the case? Because again, I think it's been established between all of us that this isn't the first time that he's seen this side of her, right? That's established.
It can't be. It can't be.
Okay. Does the reason why he stayed with her because of her looks? Is that the reason why?
Probably early on, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the reason why he's divorcing is because now she looks like that, and then he realized the crazy now.
I'm gonna say
like a second
the
part.
crazy hit before the look started going, and the thought started coming, and as the crazy got worse with the looks, then he said, "You know what? Business decision. I have to move on."
I think she looks like that without makeup. I don't think she looks like that when she goes out.
Correct.
People in movies put this on as makeup, and they look like this.
I know. Well, she was, stressed out. I'd never seen her before. I never heard of her.
I've heard of her solely on the fact that she was attractive.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, me too.
What are you gonna do with a handgun, a hatchet, and syringes? What were the syringes there for?
Who knows, man?
Look,
that's the scary thing is when you have an object and you don't know how it's going to be used on you. That's time to be scared.
Before we go to break, by the way, have you looked over at Theo Carlos's right shoulder? What is there a picture of?
Oh, it's still there?
Oh.
Raptor Bosch.
Raptor Bosch.
Dino Bosch.
And no one will know, unless they listen to the show, why that's there in the studio.
I have planted my picture of Dino Bosch, which I drew during Carlos' his lengthy discussion on squirrels. And I believe there were some form of snakes.
Robotic squirrels.
There we go. Robotic squirrels. I took notes as in drawing a Dino Bosch.
All right, so
okay.
break.
Yeah. Chicka what? gonna lead the vocal in, right? Cheer. Motherfuckers wanna act loco. Hit them up, numerous shots with a fofo. Backers wanna took them po-po, smoke them like cocoa. Fuck rap, coke by the boatload.
Welcome back to the Sports Table. We had a very interesting subject on ex-wives and at what point, by the way, this is a great, I like this mix. It's a great mix.
Hasn't even hit the rock part yet.
Yeah.
The language is questionable.
Especially because Anthony. At what point do you realize, like what's the mark in a relationship? We've all had them, where the girl, you're like, oh, I can't deal with this anymore, or she does something crazy that eventually leads to attempt at murder.
I don't know what. I have no idea. I never had a crazy wife like that.
Really?
Or girlfriend, yeah.
No, man, I can't. I don't live in that realm
Of crazy?
of crazy. I haven't had that in my life. Thank great Jesus, baby Jesus, man. It's awesome.
But so there was nothing. Okay, maybe not crazy, but what was the point in the relationship where you're like, it's not gonna work?
Well, I had one. I had one that wanted to get married. I was like 24, and she was planning a wedding. We had been
with
dating.
you guys?
Yeah, with me. Guys, with me, and we've been dating for like 6 months or something.
Oh my god!
And she had me married already. I found out. I
I
walked into her room. I saw all this stuff. I said, what the hell is all this?
Cut out pictures of your face.
And her mom
with
is
no
like,
eyes.
her mom's talking about reservations and stuff. I said, "What? You're crazy, man. We're out of here. This ain't working."
That's what it was.
Plus, I had a cute girl at work that I liked.
Short? Should we short?
Short girl. I played pool. I played pool. I lost the game. I had to take her to dinner, so it was all over at that point.
That's your mom.
She bet you? That's what she bet you?
Yeah, actually, no. I bet her a dinner. If she would take me out to dinner if I wanted, and I would take her out to dinner if she wanted.
Well, that's convenient.
And we played pool.
You're a smart man.
It's what I would call a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And I lost. I lost fair and square, so I took her to dinner.
George, never had a moment.
Yeah, I mean, my ex-wife, when we were getting married, it was the moment. Right at the wedding.
You realize?
I knew it. I did.
I do. Damn it.
God. Yeah. And I'm being serious. If you ever watch, which I don't know if it's still around, but if you ever see the pictures or the video of me getting married for the first time, and you were a kid, but you were my second wedding now, obviously, with your tia. My first wedding, I was sweating, profusely. I was dying. I knew it was wrong. And then things just got good for a while because I was gone. And then they got bad, and I was so happy I was so sad. I've never done anything harder than walk away from that house because of the kids. In that sense, I was destroyed. But God, getting away from her was so freaking good. Yeah.
Well,
crazy isn't good. Crazy isn't good.
And she wasn't crazy nothing like that. She was just
nothing's like that. It's
You
so
didn't have a
ridiculous.
hatchet?
Yeah,
No.
We're not talking Ana Benson crazy.
No.
But,
No asp?
no.
An asp. Where do you acquire such an asp?
The internet?
Lose a gun shop.
I'm sure you can get it on the internet. Amazon
I'm
probably
sure.
has them. I can probably get a stun baton too.
You know the NSA is like Ana Benson. Oh, it's popping up on all the stuff that she's purchasing. Ana Benson, isn't that the girl from?
All these background checks.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have NBA talk. We're gonna get into baseball a little bit later, and we're gonna get into Theo Carlos' segment and maybe even some NASCAR, y'all.
Oh,
Maybe.
God.
Yeah, it's a little NASCAR.
Maybe. I went to a NASCAR event, and I have some funny stories from there. But NBA, the Heat. A lot of things. I'm looking over the transaction list. I cannot believe who got signed where.
Yeah, I know. Interesting, huh?
Paul Millsap went to the Hawks. Now, Paul Millsap is a good player. He's a very solid player. He can contribute to winning a team that's on the rise, and he could be the difference between making it to a division and a conference championship and maybe even a finals if he lands somewhere. But he's going to waste away in Atlanta.
Him and Horford will keep him in the playoffs and nice and irrelevant from there.
Why does Atlanta love the two big men game? Why do they play that game?
Why
it
not?
didn't work in Utah, and I think Al Jefferson's better than Al Horford.
Ooh. I want to talk about Al Jefferson.
Al Jefferson signed with the Bobcats.
Bum bum bum.
Incredible.
Two of the guys that I thought, okay, if they
Who
landed,
signs up for the Bobcats?
Well, I mean, they're signing up for paychecks, though.
That's what I was going to say.
It has to
but
be. 'Cause
still, these are the moves that separate people that want to win and people that just want to be,
Paid.
a player. A paid and a player for forever, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh Smith signed a 4-year deal with the Detroit Pistons. He could have landed. He could have gone to Houston and won. He could have done something. He could have done a sign and trade like Iguodala did. Iguodala is now a member of the Warriors. He's going to contribute on a very exciting, very young team, and he's a piece that they could utilize. And Josh Smith is going to waste away with, what's this guy's name from down here? Brandon Knight getting dunked on. Why do you do that? Why does Al Jefferson, I'm going to look up his history, but Al Jefferson, he used to be on some pretty good teams, especially in the Boston days.
Al
When he was
Jefferson
there with Boston
was
and-
the one good player before Rondo kind of emerged, before they built that big three setup.
Well, yeah, he was part of the trade. He was part of the
and
trade.
then he was part of a decent set of teams in Utah. I don't know, man.
You do realize that the Heat Indiana rivalry has changed forever,
Why?
completely and forever.
Oh, because this guy went to Toronto?
Tyler's gone.
Oh,
Hands
Beaker.
gone.
Psycho T went to Toronto.
Psycho T went to Toronto. He's
Oh,
gone.
yeah. We have nobody to beat up on.
Tyler
And-
Heisman, the big white guy.
Oh, the football, the
football
wrestler.
player.
That's
He's
actually
gone.
a very fair assessment.
Yeah. Well, he's gone. He's in Toronto.
Listen, Al Jefferson, he averages for his career 16.5, 9 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks a game. Last year in dwindling Utah, 18, 10, and 2. That's what he averaged.
18, 10, and 2.
18. Oh, it's just under 10, but 18, 10, and 2. And he went to the Bobcats, the worst franchise, a franchise really that should have been contracted.
Yeah,
a franchise that if you wanted to talk about the lockout and the new contract and the new deal between players and owners, the Bobcats and the Hornets should have been contracted. There should be no Pelicans or Bobcats right now.
Well, the Hawks aren't far behind that.
and I would say Milwaukee makes 4.
Or Toronto.
Toronto's the other one. Yeah.
If you condense the NBA to 28 basketball teams, this would be one hell of a league.
Oh, it'd be
You'd have talent
so
across
great.
the board.
Yep.
You'd have 3 players on each squad that can play.
Well, people like Al Jefferson won't end up in no man's land.
Right.
I
Well-
mean, the thing is, listen. I mean, I'm upset because I like super teams. I've been accustomed to super teams. The Al Jefferson makes this move for him. He knows why. It's the same reason why Hedo Turkoglu left to go to Toronto. He knows why, whether it be for money or location or I can't think of anything else. But
Trying to get away from Anna.
Yeah, that's true.
uh,
You know what? I'm surprised that Kyle Korver stayed in Atlanta. I'm
Kyle
surprised.
Korver?
Yeah, that's a kind of player that I think on a good basketball team can make a difference. His shooting can make a difference on a good basketball
Kyle
team.
Korver, he was in Atlanta.
He was in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
he ended up
and he
lots of
relevant.
movement, lots of trade,
and he re-upped with
Relevant.
Atlanta again. You know, that's the kind of guy that I think goes to a Piston, to a New York team or a Heat team or one of the top 10 teams
No,
and makes a difference on
How
that
much
team.
of a pain in the ass was he when he was with the Bulls?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what he does.
I mean, he just come in. He can shoot the basketball, man.
Right.
And he's not a horrible defender either. So
He could have.
Hey, look who's batting.
He ain't no Mike Miller.
Who's that?
Your neighbor.
JD Martinez.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, man.
all right, we're watching this.
JD Martinez is my next door neighbor. He went to Flanagan High School. He now plays for the Houston Nationals. Poor guy.
And he's off the bat.
But he's up to bat. I'll tell you a good JD story of him playing baseball. One of my first dates ever with the current girlfriend that I went to was the opening series, which was against Houston in the brand new ballpark. Opening series.
Oh, when he opened it with A.
Yeah, and he hit the first home run in Marlins ballpark. JD Martinez, my next door neighbor. I used to He used to come over to my house and we used to play Super Smash Brothers and Halo, and that's guys hitting jacks in Marlins Bar Park, which I paid for. But
he didn't hook you up with tickets?
no, he didn't. He didn't. He had his own tickets for it because he had honestly 200, 300 people in the stands. With him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all his guys from high school and his family. But anyway, I sneaked down because, of course, it doesn't matter what Marlins ballpark it is. I sneaked down. This is like the third or fourth game in the entire season of the new ballpark.
Oh, by then there were seats all over.
Right. So I sneaked down to the third row behind home plate. Great seats, and I'm talking about. I had tickets all the way up in the nosebleed in the upper deck. I sneaked down all the way down there. JD's on the on deck circle. Right now, he knows that I was texting him. He knows that I went to the game, and he knows that I was like, listen, I'm bringing a date. Do something special for me. So he's on the on deck circle, swinging away, looking down. I stand up. I was wearing a Marlins hat, and I take it off. I don't want him to see that I'm wearing the Marlins hat, so I take it off, and I go, Jay, and he looks at me. He's swinging. He puts the bat down, puts it in between both his legs, and gives me the double guns. Boom. Gives me the double guns, blasts it, and swings away again. My girlfriend now, Jenny, you know him? Oh, baby, let me tell you.
It's funny because I remember him as a kid.
Yeah.
JD?
Yeah, I do. I remember him as a kid. When I see him, even on TV now, when I see him, what I think of is when he was 10.
Yeah, a little skinny kid.
Yeah.
I used to play baseball with him, so technically I'm a pro baseball player.
No, you used to play baseball with him.
I used to watch. But
No,
yeah.
he walked.
He walked, which is rare for him. But good job, Jay. Way to get on base. Astros are the only team that is just as bad as the Marlins.
Now, you say he was the neighbor. Was this the neighbor you guys used to connect your Xbox like across windows?
From window.
Because I've heard that story from Josh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
From window to window. Him and all his friends 8 on 8. Anyway, but that's another story. But isn't that a great baseball JD's story?
The double guns.
He gave me the double guns, and she's like, you know him?
Wow.
Let me tell you.
Baby, I'm connected.
Let me tell you about this. But back to basketball. Birdman re-signs with the Heat.
That's a good thing. They're going to have him from the jump, and I think that's going to make a difference. I think it's going to make a big difference.
Who do you think they're going to get rid of?
I don't think they're going to get rid of anybody.
Are you crazy? You know what the luxury tax is?
I think
they keep everybody?
Right now, I think was it the Herald, or they said about $30 million.
$30 million in luxury tax. Miller will cost him his salary plus $17 million.
So you're saying Mike Miller then gets amnestied?
No, I think he gets traded. I think they're going to keep.
I think Joel Anthony's gone.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah,
they keep Miller.
I think I do believe that Greg Oden is on the radar, and I think if he can walk, I think they might give him a shot.
He looks good in the summer league.
Can you imagine him just playing 20 minutes a game, 25?
Listen, we've been through this before. A la Dexter Pittman, a la
Couch, but those guys don't have talent. This guy had legitimate talent.
Hey, don't forget Chancletas, bro.
Eddie Curry and Chancletas.
But those guys didn't have talent. This guy has legitimate NBA talent. He's just got
Eddie Curry averaged
legs.
20 and 10 at one point.
Is that before the ballooning or after?
It was obviously
after. Before. I think Gordon will be a shot. I think he's a shot. And I think if he wants to play basketball and the Heat give him a shot, I think he comes in. And I think that could be something that helps you in these series with people like the Spurs and the Bulls when they go big, and Indiana when they go big.
Well, let me finish the transaction because I want to pose you guys this question. So Millsap signs with Atlanta. Al Jefferson, Cody Zeller, and Tyrese Thomas signed with.
No, Tyrese Thomas is waived.
Or waived, I'm sorry, by the Bobcats.
For monetary reasons.
Right. The Bulls signed Mike Dunleavy. Do you remember when Mike Dunleavy was a prized possession that the Heat wanted to sign in that first year? Remember? When he was it could have gone to him or Boston. He ended up going to Boston. Mike Dunleavy. Am I getting wrong with another?
You're definitely getting wrong. You're thinking of a big an interior.
No, Troy Murphy. I'm
Troy
thinking
Murphy.
Troy Murphy.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
And then instead we got Bibby and we cheered like he was an incoming conqueror.
Yeah, it's all the same shit. I mean, poop. Sorry, Anthony. We have Josh Smith for 4 years going there. Mark Jackson gets extended another 2 years for his contract. David West and Mr. C.J. Watson. He got signed with Indiana.
The boogeyman.
West re-signed with Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah, West re-signed with Indiana, which we all knew was going to
Yeah.
happen. By the way, that Watson reference, does anybody know what movie that's from?
No.
Mr. I can't remember the first name. Oh, Watson. It used to be on That's Not Your Mama.
The That's Not Your Mama episode of something.
Yeah. I mean,
I've heard it.
It's in
I've
the
heard it on the
rejoins.
radio.
It's in the rejoins for Levitar, but it's actually from Coming to America, a very underrated movie.
I love that movie.
That's from it. It's when that's Arsenio Hall as the the priest or whatever pastor. Mr. Watson. He's talking.
Oh yeah.
So
When he's preaching.
Yeah. So anytime I see Watson or any Watson, I say it like that. But anyway, JJ Redick and who's the other guy? Jared Dudley. They also go to the Clippers, and the Clippers re-sign Chris Paul. They re-sign, offer a contract to Matt Barnes and Ryan Holland. So Matt Barnes might go back to the Clippers too. And that's really it. Andre Bargnani gets traded to New York.
Matt Barnes did re-sign with the Clippers.
Oh, he did?
3 years, $12 million.
Marcus Camby, Quentin Richardson, and Steve Novak all get traded to Toronto.
Poor guys.
Yeah. So there's some.
Toronto's a great city, though.
Marco Bellinelli.
Marco Bellinelli.
Tutto bene.
To the Spurs.
And there's other stuff here and there, like the sign and trade with Iguodala, and apparently now everyone that didn't get Dwight Howard wants Andrew Bynum.
He's signed.
Who's
Andrew Bynum signed
with the Cavs?
He did officially. Look at me.
Thank God he went somewhere I want to go down.
I'm way behind.
Hey,
listen, that's not a bad sign.
No, but
what
did
was
you
it, 2 years?
Did you hear the process in which he went through teams where he did not want to work out so they couldn't see his knees?
Yeah.
That's mystifying.
He's 7'2".
I know that. No, I know why he's valuable, but the idea that your knees are that bad that you won't work out in front of anybody.
Yeah.
So that people have to go blind. Yeah, and people have to go blind faith to sign you.
But it's sort of the same thing as the Greg Oden. You make a contract where it's little risk to you as a team, and you make it incentive filled. So if he produces, that's where he'll get his.
Yeah, but the difference is Greg Oden has come in and worked out for teams.
Yeah, because he has to, because he hasn't played since 2010 or something.
And how many games have you seen Bynum play in the last 2 years?
No,
he didn't play last year at all. He didn't play many the year before that.
Right.
Where did Howard sign? I don't know.
Dwight Howard?
Yeah.
Houston.
Oh, he went to Houston?
Yeah, he didn't flip flop after he said he was going.
Are you serious or are you kidding?
I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Papi, I'm working till 8 o'clock at night every night, man.
I got you. But yeah, he went to Houston, man. And this is one of the questions I was going to pose to you guys. So the two big free agents of the NBA offseason were Chris Paul and Dwight Howard, which I don't understand how the media hype wasn't as big as the one when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh were, or how it's going to be again next summer when Carmelo, Wade, and LeBron and all those guys have the ability to opt out. Because Chris Paul is arguably the best point guard, and Dwight Howard is arguably the best center. Two of the most pivotal positions on any basketball team.
Yeah, but that's a two-man class. How many other max contract players did you get out of this class compared to last time? You had the three that went to Miami, plus Stoudemire, Boozer, the five-man class, and there was
Joe
more.
Johnson.
And Joe Johnson, so six. You got a six-man class of max.
Well, here there's
contract.
been Josh Smith, the two.
Yeah, but Josh Smith didn't get a max level.
No. Well, I mean, I don't blame him either because I don't get that guy nothing.
No, I'm not a big Josh Smith.
Well, let me ask you guys this question then, since we all know what team they landed and where they're going to end up. Chris Paul re-signed back with the Clippers. Dwight Howard now to Houston. What team goes farther? What team goes farther, the Clippers or the Houston Rockets?
The Clippers.
The Clippers, yeah.
I like the Clippers because they're already they put pieces around Paul to build them better with Dudley and Redick. Those are shooters, and that really helps Paul, who doesn't necessarily want to take the shots but can kick out to him, and it should help Griffin with that iffy shot that he has. Even though it is improving, but it will help that he can have things that spread people away from the rim.
If I was that kid, I would spend every minute of my life in a gym shooting 15-footers.
Who's that?
Griffin. Huh. That's all I do. If he develops man, because
Or a turnaround jump shot, little
yeah,
turnaround jump on the baseline.
whatever, because he's cat quick.
I mean, if you're Dwight Howard, you do the same thing.
Yeah, it's never. It's not
Why
always that easy.
why you have to talk about Howard for?
Dwight Howard
He's not the
Dwight
Dolphins.
Howard had one of the best post players in history with him for multiple years and didn't learn a goddamn thing about post game.
Well, now he's got Akeem.
He had
He's got Akeem and McHale.
he had Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
No, so now he's got the other two best players ever to play the post.
He's got
And,
Akeem.
and if he didn't learn from Patrick, what's he going to learn from Akeem or from Kevin McHale?
Well, I mean, Akeem, apparently he's the one that revolutionized LeBron James
He's
and
footwork
Kobe.
master.
No,
Yeah.
Akeem is
Yeah,
a
but
star.
you're talking about Kobe and LeBron, not the other guy.
I am talking about Dwight.
And that's what I'm saying. He's not the White is not LeBron or Kobe.
Yeah, Bynum's contract is a 2-year contract with only about $6 million of the possible 24 guaranteed.
Look at that.
And is it the second year a team option?
Yeah, team
Oh,
option.
yeah,
That's a great contract.
that's not.
for
Yeah, that's not a
Cleveland.
bad contract, especially since if they're believing all the Bill Simmons reports that they're in the mix for LeBron.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Everybody seems to be positioning to have space and hope next year.
Well, wasn't it the Lakers that said they're signing what's his name?
They got Kaman.
Chris Kaman for 1 year only because of the clean cap space for next year when LeBron and Melo are available.
Yeah, front runner for LeBron.
They come right out,
Lakers,
come right out and blatantly say there's no tampering involved with that.
This is the second question, which, by the way, Houston got fined for tampering or saying something about Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see what it was, but
Anyway, this is the next question then, since I guess you guys are all on Chris Paul. I think, honestly, Houston advances farther, but that's just me. With the 2014 class coming again, we were on the outside looking in. I was looking forward to 2010?
10.
Back in 2008.
Right.
Like in 2008, I'm like, oh my gosh, all these free agents are going to come.
And we have the money.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Now we're on the opposite side. Now we have the prize. We hold all the cards. And this is the chance where it could go, and we already have the trolls that are out there just to incite.
Bill Simmons.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Broussard, like all those guys, they're just saying a bunch of stuff. It's already a foregone conclusion that LeBron James is going to leave. Or not foregone, but 50-50.
50-50.
50-50. Being on this side of that coin, how are you guys looking at 2014?
I'm to be honest, I'm really not concerned. Again, I don't think there's a chance in hell that LeBron moves. Like I said before, I think he'll move from South Beach maybe to a house on Star Island, but that's about the furthest he's going. He's not going to go to L.A. to incur an 18% city tax on top of the state tax, on top of the federal
rebuilding
tax.
process.
And they're going to rebuild over there. And why is he going to go over there to try to get Kobe 2 more rings? His responsibility is to catch Kobe and to catch Michael. Why is he going to go give Kobe ring 6 and 7? That's just going to put him behind. There's no way he's doing that. So at the end of the day, that I don't think there's any chance that LeBron goes anywhere.
He could go to New York though.
And again,
if they get rid of Stoudemire, however that happens.
Well, they got to get rid of Stoudemire and they got to get rid of Melo. He's not going over there because he's going to have to kill Melo. He's just going to have to kill him because he wants to be able to touch the ball, and Melo's not going to let him touch the ball. So, there'll be homicide on the court. You think Aaron Hernandez was bad? This will be really bad. This will happen on the court. So
LeBron James shows up with a duffel bag of syringes,
a hatchet and an ass.
Melo, JR, we need to meet in the back room. You guys want to come with me? Why you got a hatchet, LeBron?
Don't worry about it.
I'll let you know in a second.
Don't worry about it.
It'll be Andrew Galulu all over again.
So you guys, basically based off that comment, to answer the question, you're not worried.
I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I'm looking forward to it because I want to see where the other guys go. I want to see if Melo does move or not. And I don't think there's a chance in hell that Melo moves.
So the Lakers are going to end up with no one.
I think the Lakers are going to end up with second-tier players, not the Melos or LeBrons of the world.
Yep, I agree 100%. Although I would like to see Melo play with Kobe in the waning year.
Oh my gosh!
Because that would be spectacular to watch.
Just
two people.
Kobe would kill
yelling
him.
At the ball.
Kobe will kill him.
Kobe will kill him when he takes a 3 when they're down 6 and they got 4 guys inside. Kobe will shoot him.
Yeah, he would.
Kobe will go. See
Kobe
Anna,
will show up with a gun.
Kobe will borrow Anna's judge gun and shoot him in the forearm.
Yeah.
There's no way, man.
Carmelo goes to inbound the ball, and Kobe just takes it from his hand.
Yeah,
No, you're not going to be able to pass it in.
No, those are things. When you look at basketball, you got to look at things that mesh and things that work. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No, Kobe will kill him.
Let's be fair. That's what they said about Wade and LeBron.
But you know what?
But that was a skill set issue.
It wasn't a personality issue.
It's more when you
two alpha dogs. They said 2 alpha dogs, only 1 ball. That's what they said.
I know what they said, but you have to think about this when you look at it. It's not just necessarily about the skill set that these players possess. We're talking about personalities and who's willing to give. Okay, Dwayne, you can tell Dwayne wanted to win. Dwayne gave a little bit when he had Shaq on the team, and he took a little bit of a back seat. So it was visible that Dwayne would conceivably do this to bring the best player in the world in. I've seen nothing in the 7 or 8 years that I've watched Melo play, and in the 14 years I've watched Kobe play, that tell me that they're willing to give up one shot, let alone alpha dog material.
It's actually the exact opposite. They've both destroyed teams purposely.
Purposely, exactly.
And didn't you hear one of the things they're saying Kobe told Dwight in the presentation was, hey, you stay here, I'm going to show you how to win. I'm going to show you how to be a champion.
What a douchebag.
But he believes it 100% in his head.
Yeah, he does.
That he can show you the way. Now imagine bringing Melo into that. And he's gonna be, Kobe, I'm going to show you how to score. No, Melo, I'm going to show you how to score and win. No, I'm going to show you how to do it. No, Melo, I'm going to show you. No, I'm going to show you.
And they trade Chalmers there.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to show you both.
Hey, Melo, Kobe, get on my back.
Yeah.
Get on my back.
I got 2 rings.
So you guys are not worried. Carlos already said you two are not worried.
Look, unless someone takes a sniper rifle to Dwayne's knees, I'm not worried.
It doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere. I mean, it just doesn't. He was talking before he came here. He was considering going to New York. I don't think he'll ever go to L.A., but he may think about going to New York. But
if they become available, which is going to be hard.
Right. Because of
they don't have
the
cap
contracts
space.
They have cap
space now.
Yeah. Or in 14 either.
No, or in 15.
And nobody's going to get Stoudemire. Nobody's he's Stoudemire. I don't remember the millions of dollars he's going to make, but
he's between $20 and $24 million.
Melo's at 27.
Yeah, and there's not only is there not cap space, they don't even have number 1 draft choices to trade because they've already traded 15 away. They can't trade 14 because you can't trade consecutive number 1s. So they can't trade 14 and they can't trade 16. So they got to jump all the way to trade a 17. Who's going to trade for a player to empty cap space and get a contract 6 years later?
Well, they keep doing that. It seems like they keep trading all their assets for one piece. When they traded when they got Andre Bargnani, they traded away Steve Novak, which is a pretty solid 3-point shooter. And then they got rid of Quentin Richardson and Marcus Camby and a first-round draft choice and a second-round draft choice.
Right. I mean, it seems
all that
they're
for
always
Andre Bargnani.
All he really is a Novak plus. He's Novak, but better and a little younger. So they gave away a bunch to upgrade Novak. That was it. That front office, I don't know.
That's a minimal. That's a minimal upgrade.
Yeah, that's
minimal.
a minimal
upgrade. All that they gave up.
Yeah, that's a minimal upgrade.
They're like the Jets. They are. I mean, they'll do some crazy things when he comes in personnel. I mean, they are. They're stupid.
Smith.
They're stupid.
They re-signed him?
Yeah. Wasn't it a 3-year deal, right?
3 years.
Why? Him and Melo are the perfect combination.
20 million or
God.
something?
I want Rondo traded there. I want that reality show. J.R. Smith, Rajon Rondo, and Melo.
Well, let me bring up, since we keep adding on to the Knicks, the show that I do here in the afternoon, Amigo and Diz, they were talking about, because the Lakers apparently, if they amnesty Meta World Peace, they'll save $30 million in the next 2 years. $30 million Meta World Peace. Can you believe that? But anyway, if he gets amnestied, that the best place for him to land and a championship move for the team to get is if he went to the Knicks. Why? If Meta World Peace went to the Knicks, that's the one piece that they have that they're missing.
Where?
Explain that to me because
who's saying that?
What was the rationale? No, I understand that, but what was the rationale behind saying that Meta World Peace is the missing piece to anywhere?
Especially in the Knicks.
He's not even the missing piece to Meta World Peace.
But he doesn't even get to see the floor. He won't play. Can't play the 2 or the 3. You're gonna play him at the 4? No. So how is that a missing piece? It's the
But
piece you wouldn't use.
Who's saying this?
The people on the show, Troy Stratford, Troy Stratford apparently is a Knicks fan.
The guy's become a limited defender. He used to be a good defender. He's a limited,
great defender.
He's a limited defender now at his age.
Yeah, he's a brute defender.
Yeah, he fouls. He's a hatchet.
He's a hack.
He's a hack. So he's limited there. His 3-point shooting is average, is below. Well, you know what? He would fit in the 3-point shooting scheme of things where they just sit there and hack him up and shoot them up, and if they fall, they fall.
You know what?
Yeah, but
Because
he
that's
doesn't
his
even shoot
mentality.
at a good clip.
No, he shoots. Well,
That's fine.
None of the Knicks do. They shoot between 28 and 31%. All of them.
I like this. This is like sabotage. Send him. Sign him.
So I mean, I don't see. I'm sure there are Knick people that hear these things and would have to laugh because I don't see where he fits the mold to make that team. That team needs a point guard that can control action, get the ball to the right players, and they need a rebounding forward.
And a ruler.
That's it.
So they can smack Melo every time he's going to think about freaking shooting.
Well, that's what the point guard does. The point guard decides when Melo gets the
You
ball.
realize that rule is going to go to J.R. Smith more than Melo, right?
Meta World Peace, by the way, shot 34% from 3-point land.
That's fine. How many of those were good shots?
That's pretty much Nick rounds.
That's what I was gonna say. Can you imagine the three: J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, and Meta World Peace?
It's a circus.
Shooting 33%.
It's a circus.
Hey man, they'll set a record every night. Those 74 3-pointers, 67 12 for 94.
The best part is they won't be like kick out threes anymore because it'll become, coño, I haven't gotten a shot in like 8 minutes, and he'll just jack one up.
Yeah,
and then JR be like, oh, you got one? I got one too. And Mel's like, man, please, I've got 3, and he'll just jack 3 up.
Mike Woodson would quit, and he'd jump off the Madison Square Garden, and he'd die from asbestos.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to color that beard black anymore. It would turn gray as he's coloring it with a Sharpie.
Within the week.
And what were the rumors of Rondo going there?
I've heard things of what if they traded Rondo there? What if they traded him?
Well, Rondo almost got traded last year.
Oh, Rondo's he's almost been traded the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if and especially now they're building and they got a 20-year-old coach.
Yeah,
what? The dude looks like a kid, man.
You're right. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade Rondo.
No.
Yeah, but the thing is you can't trade him because he's hurt.
And there's no space in New York for him money-wise.
No.
There's no space there.
Between Stoudemire and Carmelo.
And Carmelo, they're hanging up 50-something million of the $60 million in the cap.
We dodged the bullet with Stoudemire.
Oh,
didn't
Boozer.
we?
Him and Boozer. We chose the right guy.
Didn't we dodge a bullet there? And I know people don't like Bosch.
I know I was yelling and screaming, please no Stoudemire, please no, because I knew he was just a
He
product
was
of
done.
Steve. He was a product of Steve Nash, man.
But even now he doesn't look like the same player when he was with Phoenix.
Well, let's be fair. Before Carmelo Anthony got there, he was on track to win MVP.
Oh yeah, he was having a great year.
He was on track to win MVP before Carmelo Anthony got there.
No, he was really their only scoring option.
Well, no, they actually had great supporting staff because that's when they had Chandler. That's what not Tyson, but Wilson Chandler. When they had all the guys that they traded to Denver.
Right.
That's what they had around
the
them.
shooting Italian.
They actually didn't have a bad team.
No, and ball movement was good, and they used Stoudemire the way he had been used in Phoenix.
Right, in the pick and roll situation.
Pick and rolls and diving cuts.
Which is what Dwight needs to do. If Dwight does that, I think Dwight will be successful in Houston. If Dwight decides he wants to be a back to the basket player, ain't working.
But listen, that's the Knicks are just one of those teams that you just love their sort of
turmoil.
Yeah.
It's the circus, man. It's the circus.
I'm telling you, it's like the Jets.
It is like the Jets. It
is.
And you know what's fortunate is they're both in the same area code.
I know. And
they're both the same fan base, too.
Oh,
yeah, I know, which is great for us.
You can get one
It's
person
great for
down
us.
twice.
Because not many Knicks fans are Giant fans, and none of the Jet fans are Giant fans. So.
Oh, my gosh. Last question before we wrap up this basketball segment, which, by the way, it's already been 30 minutes, and I feel like we barely scratched the surface. The Heat have stood still on all their moves. They've just re-signed their players. They haven't added anybody else. The way that I view basketball is if you stay the same, you lose. It's what happened with the Detroit Pistons. It's what happened with the Lakers. The Heat the last 2 years have gotten better each year. I mean, when they first got assembled, we said this was going to be the worst team their first year. This was going to be the worst team.
And we were right.
And we were right, yes. So far, we're right.
Next year, like I said before, will be their best basketball team.
Right.
this is the difference. It's the same team.
I don't think it will be.
It is and it isn't, because you're going into it with Mike Miller finally healthy going into an offseason. So you'll probably see a little bit more usage out of him going into next year.
He was healthy last year.
No, he was sitting in a Lazarus pit last year. You didn't see him until the end of the year.
From the off season into the regular season.
No, he was
healthy.
considering retirement because his back was so bad, and they said the surgery wasn't going to do anything for him. So he just took the summer off, but he was messed up going into the offseason.
Okay.
Well, I think the big difference will be that they're going to have Chris Anderson there.
It's going to be that much of a difference?
I think his
guy plays 15 minutes a game.
15 to 18 minutes a game, and I think that's where they need to keep him. Anytime he goes over that, I think he hurts the team.
Yeah, because it's crazy.
But I think if he stays within that 15 to 18 to 20-minute range, I think that will really solidify a portion of that. Remember, that team plays in sections, and they play in spurts, and they play with certain different combinations. And I think that combination with Chris Anderson coming off the bench when he does, with the team that he comes off the bench, and a healthy Dwayne Wade, I think that makes a huge difference.
The thing is, there's always been a new piece. There's always been a new
and
toy.
I think there will be.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's literally just happened today that all these signings were able to happen. So, and Pat Riley's known to make moves, but when they signed Mike Miller, that was a piece to add to the big three. When they signed Shane Battier, that was a piece to add to the big three.
Allen.
And they signed Ray Allen, that's a piece to add to the big three. There's not that one piece to add here. And the thing is, if you notice, each of those pieces, they contribute.
Integral.
Yeah, exactly. That's an even better word than I was going to say.
What the Heat needs, it's really a big man.
They need Greg Oden.
It's really what they need.
They need to be able to put him on the court for 20 to 25 minutes a game.
You're asking a lot of a guy that hasn't played in 3 years.
I don't need him to do a lot in those
20 minutes a game, that's more than Chris Anderson.
That guy's a 7'1" guy, almost 7'2".
Yeah.
That's a big human.
He
Very
hasn't played
athletic.
in 3 years.
Hey, duct tape those knees, bro. Just throw them out
I
there.
think you guys are being a little bit wishful on Greg.
Oh, no,
Oden.
no. I didn't
completely.
say Greg Oden.
Completely
a little
wishful.
bit. Yeah.
I'm being completely wishful. I'm taking a leap that he's even going to be able to walk.
But that's not a move, though, to secure. Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
No, I think it does, because the one weakness and the one point that's been harped on the Heat for the last couple of years, and especially this year, especially in the last 2 series, was the fact that they couldn't match up with the big guys of Indiana, and they couldn't match up with the big guys in San Antonio.
I mean, it was shown. There's proof. You can watch it on TV.
Right, it's not talk.
Yeah.
We saw,
Yeah.
Westgate those easy shots, and we saw their center get those easy shots. Hibbert get those easy shots. So, yeah, those shots aren't there with a 7-footer in front of Hibbert.
Right.
But the thing
And
is,
Hibbert becomes Hibbert, the 10-point guy, not the
Right.
21 guy.
Right.
that move isn't secure. When you sign Shane Battier, you know you're going to get a defensive guy that'll take 3-point shots. When you sign Ray Allen, you know he's going to be a difference maker on the perimeter. Greg Oden, if that's the big move,
It's a risk.
You don't know what you're going to get.
No. I didn't say Greg Oden. I mean, I just think we need to find him. Maybe it's in the team. He's in the team already, but we need to find somebody who can guard these big centers from. Who's going to be our competition next year? It's going to be the same guys.
Would you have liked
San Antonio is maybe not going to be there, and I think if we play Oklahoma City, it's an easier series for us than probably anybody else from the West that have big guys. I mean, we need a guy, even if we just get him for the playoffs, we need a guy to bang, down with the 7-footers.
How about if I frame it like this? Consider where Oden would come in on the roster. He'd come in at Jawan's spot or Vernato's spot. That's not bad.
Why you want to kick Jawan Howard out, man?
Jawan Howard's
He's
on
got
his
2
retirement
rings.
tour. That's fine.
He's
And
got
he'll
2
and
rings.
then
Two-time
we'll cut
He's a
whoever
back-to-back
rookie we
champion.
have.
That's right.
He's
We'll-
a back-to-back champion.
We'll cut whatever rookie we have at the end of the year so we can put on a nice suit and sit on the bench with the coaches.
But how is that any? So what? That'd be Eddie Curry.
And
So what?
So you're
exactly.
talking.
And what?
You're looking for a more impactful move. But where's the hole?
No team.
Where's the hole to fill?
No
for that
team
impactful
stand
move?
still and
But
win.
listen
but
to
development
listen to
is
Carlos's
moving forward.
point.
Where's
though.
the hole? Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's the
where is
hole?
the hole?
It's the big man.
Are
like
you talking?
said.
Are
That
you
is the
talking-
only hole.
Are you talking about change for the sake of change? Let's get rid of Batty and bring another shooter in,
Yeah.
or Ray Allen bring another
No.
shooter in.
Or take out Miller or Ray Allen.
We've got the best 3-point shooter in history, and he's still one of the top shooters in the league.
Yeah.
I'm not moving him. If you decide monetarily to keep Mike Miller, then you keep him. If you decide to amnesty him or you amnesty Joel, then you move one of those. Then you got a hole. You're going to fill that hole. If it's Mike Miller, you got to find a shooter. I was thinking, okay, if you amnesty him, you go get Kyle Korver, you get a shooter like that. Bring him in, somebody athletic that can do what Mike did. But if you're just going to trade one piece for another piece that's the same piece, I don't see the sense for a move just for the sake of a move.
What the thing is, again, if you're gonna stay the same, it's not gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be not enough, but you bode well. It's better for your team to keep adding rather than staying the same.
Yeah, but you add where you can add. We're not in a
And
position
where you need to
just,
add.
Yeah.
So if there was like another, I mean, all the centers that I was actually
I would have
Chris
loved to have
Kaman.
picked up Andrew Bynum. That would have been or trade with Houston and pick up Omar Sheik as a center. That'd be
I don't know if
spectacular.
you're serious, but I would have liked. But and I don't
Absolutely.
like him as a person.
Absolutely, I'm serious.
No,
No,
I can't
Bynum
say
would've
that.
been
I don't
good.
know him. I for what I've seen, he's not.
He looks like an immature young kid.
Yes, he's a kid, but I would have liked him to be in.
Yeah,
in
7'2",
I would have
265,
Yeah,
270.
and
a
he's won
banger.
rings.
And a banger.
Yeah, but the cost of those guys that you would want is more than the Heat can pay.
No, I agree with you. We're
We're
We're not-
There's no way to get him.
Yeah.
But with like the move for a second, at this point, the guys that we would want are not in the range that we can get. We're in a position where there's not much moving forward that we can do. There's just self-improvement. There's moving forward within yourself. There's not anything you could add from the outside.
Is that going to be enough?
Yeah, why
Hey,
not?
I was going to tell you.
You just went through it with a broken Dwayne Wade.
Hey, Jordan won 6 rings, basically the same 3 guys.
I don't think so.
No,
He didn't have Dennis Rodman the first 3,
no,
Nobody had him for the last 3.
Yeah,
right?
but
the
they added
teams changed
Rodman.
a little bit. There were minor tweaks within those
Yeah.
teams. Cartwright,
Yeah.
replaced
Paxson
Kerr,
and
Kerr and Paxson switched
Yeah.
out, but you were replacing, a shooter for a shooter.
Exactly.
What was the upgrade there? Paxson's as good a shooter as Kerr was.
And
Right.
what about the Shaq and Kobe Lakers? Those teams basically stayed the same
Yeah.
that entire run until they
Yeah.
went for that Hall of Famer trade with Malone and Peyton.
Right.
Those teams didn't change. It was Ori and Rick Fox and Derek Fisher all the time.
You don't want status quo for multiple years, but I think if the Heat go into next year with the same starting 5 and going with their 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 players, the same, and add a piece like someone like an Oden that can play that big man role,
Right.
I think they'd be fine.
Right.
The thing is, you see, last team was the greatest team that the Heat has ever acquired, and it was a rough go. They made it to 2 Game 7s.
Yeah,
and if
but
you're going to stay the same, it seems to me logically that you're taking a bigger risk.
Yeah, but
as
But
opposed to
why
not
did it
switching.
go? Why did it go to Game 7s?
You
The
gotta-
only 2 series that went to Game 7s. What was the common link between the 2 teams?
Dwayne Wade was there. Oh,
No, it's a matchup issue
Yeah.
with Dwayne Wade hurt.
right.
No,
You gotta
and a
take
big
both
man
in
and a big
consideration.
man.
Big guys
Yeah.
and
Big
Dwayne was
guys.
hurt.
So then you want to make a move, right?
No, you're fine. You just went through an entire playoff run basically with half of Wade.
Right.
Yeah.
And with weakness. And now you're going to go into
And you
another
barely,
year.
and it took a Ray Allen miracle Game 6 shot to
All right,
win.
that's fine.
I'm just
and it
saying,
took
though.
a miracle Tony Parker Mierda to win the first game.
That's right.
So what?
Are you looking?
Good point.
Are you looking to maybe
Good
get
point.
rid of Haslam
Yeah,
and,
but
and upgrade
that's
to
a good
Hamza?
point for one game. That we're talking about saving a season.
All right,
there,
but one game is one game.
Yeah.
Both of them are
Yeah,
one game.
one games.
right?
If we win that first one, then
Yeah.
whatever happens in the Game 6 doesn't matter.
They didn't matter.
Oh no, of course it matters because then you would have to win Game 6 anyway.
Bobby, if he doesn't make that shot, who knows what happens? They lose 2 games on the road down here, and then who knows?
Right? And it could have. I'm just saying, you don't want to leave your roster to a bounce like that.
No, if you can improve your
You don't
roster,
wanna
you
leave
do
your roster
so.
to the bounce like
all right,
that.
but if you can, you do. But we're not in a position where we can just go off and do things.
No, okay, I'm not. I know we're limited in acquiring just straight from contract, but if you try to make a move,
But moves are going to cost you contracts incoming that are either really expensive, putting that $30 million you're going to owe in luxury taxes higher up, or are going to be longer. And the Heat are set up that when they go into this point where their big 3 are going to come out of their contracts, that entire roster is gone. They're all cut off. So they're going to have all the room they want.
so it'll be basically a restart of 2010.
Yeah, it'll be just like 2010 where all we had was Chalmers. And I think, I'm trying to remember who's.
And Chalmers, this is the last year of his
Yeah,
contract.
Right.
yeah, no, he's on that whole. I'm telling you, when you look at the transactions thing and the contracts, there are 2 restricted free agents in 2014. Everybody else, all player option, team option type things. They're all gone basically.
Well, can you imagine an offer that a 3-time champion, back-to-back-to-back point guard is going to get when he becomes a free agent in Chalmers?
Somebody will give him money.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he'll
It's gonna be
go.
scary.
They're going to give him crazy money.
Somebody's gonna give him
And
money.
he'll
And
go.
I think he's the one that'll go to try to prove that he can do it without the 3.
he'll go.
And then that's going to open up more room. I think for 14 there'll be more room because of some guys that can move around. But I still think that sometime next year, they're gonna end up pick somebody up, and I think they're gonna amnesty. I think they will use their amnesty. They only got 7 days to use it. So
Yeah.
they'll use it in the next 7 days.
Actually, it's next Wednesday.
Right. So
it's the deadline.
So they only have 7
Days.
days to use it.
Yeah.
And if they're going to use it, and it might be Joel. It might be Joel. It might be the casualty. You know,
It may
and
be
you know
Joel.
that-
It may be
and
Mike Miller.
Miller. And I think they have to look at that number and see how big that number is, and then decide who impacts this basketball team based on what we got more.
Right.
Does Joel impact it or does Mike impact
It's
it?
got to be Mike Miller, doesn't
It's
it?
got. I would think so.
It's gotta be Mike.
I think it's got to be that he impacts it more or that he's gone.
It's
No,
got to
he
be
impacts
the
more.
better move would be for Mike to go.
Oh, for Mike to go?
Yeah.
Not for me.
No,
I say Joel.
You can get through the season without Joel and spend it whipping Odin into shape or getting a big into the position where you can use him in the spots you need him in the playoffs. But you can't replace that level of shooter. Mike is an excellent rebounder, an excellent shooter. It's hard.
You just said 5 minutes ago that they went through the whole season without him.
Yeah, they did, and now they have him healthy and he's useful again. They went for the whole season because he had no back.
It wasn't. I mean, he had a couple games here and there, but I don't
No.
think he was worth the contract that he has, especially if he's injury prone like the way that he's been.
I think Mike will play for a lot
And
less
his
money,
contract's
too.
a lot bigger.
Yeah. It's going to cost him more, actually.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to cost him more to keep Mike than to keep Joel.
Right. So he's the one that I would say you gotta go, especially when you.
Oh,
make
no,
the
no.
move to
I
sign.
agree with you
Yeah.
in the sense of financially, I think Mike should go.
Well, Joel
But if-
Anthony's
if-
making $3.8 million. That's a big number.
How much is Mike making? He's got to be in the 5+, isn't he?
Yeah, I would venture to say he is.
Mike Miller to me would be the one that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the way that they like playing just armies of shooters out there, he becomes more useful than Joel over the long term of the season.
if you're able to use that money, Mike Miller's money, to sign a guy for the size, wouldn't that be a better trade off?
But who is it? Well, that's
Oh.
the question becomes what's the trade off? Joel for what, or Mike for what?
Well, that's
And you
what- that's
can't
what you'd
answer.
have to
They
see.
have to do the calculations that way. Well, if we get rid of Mike, who can we replace him with, and is it worth it? If we get rid of Joel, who can we replace him with?
Well, for
and it's
for
worth it.
2013-14, Mike Miller's making $6.2 million,
Yeah.
and 14-15 $6.6 million,
Yeah.
and for 2015 he'd only have 3 players on the contract.
That's a lot of money.
You know, at the end of-
22 and 21 million for Chris, Dwayne, and LeBron.
At the end of the day, the one thing we got going for 2014 is the Godfather. It's the gangster.
Pimp, Don,
Because right now
Purple Drake.
That's the man. That's the one thing we got going. He'll make it happen.
I don't think Rashad Lewis will be on this roster, and that's 1.4 million.
And he got lucky.
I don't think James Jones will be on this roster. He's 1.5 million.
How lucky is?
And I don't think Joel will be in there. That's 3.8. That's going to free up $5-6 million.
See,
They're going to be able to bring in a big
You were
guy.
talking about Mike Miller.
Yeah.
James Jones can do what Mike Miller does.
From a shooting standpoint, yeah, he doesn't
And
rebound and defend as well.
Do you keep Udonis?
Actually, he defends terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's horrible.
No. Well, yeah, Mike is decent. James is not.
Mike
Decent,
Miller.
decent. He'll stay in front of you. I'm not saying he's
He
good.
got
He's gonna
burned a
shut-
lot of
A
times
lot.
in the
Of
playoffs.
course, he's gonna get burned a lot. He's got to
A lot.
swivel his hips. You swivel your hips, your back goes out.
Hey, is Udonis untouchable?
No, I don't think anyone's untouchable.
4.4 million.
There's only one number that's untouchable. That's 6. Everyone else
4.4
is fair
million.
game. Even though it hurts me to say that about Dwayne, but everyone else is fair game. Really. Because we don't want 6 to leave, and you'll do anything for 6 to leave. So we're gonna go to break. We're gonna
Yeah, let's
come
go
back.
to break because I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and we'll keep talking
Thank you for
about
that
Phil
announcement.
Carlos' segment and Hernandez, and we got so much more. So don't go anywhere. We are in a hurry up mode, 2-minute offense here.
Good line.
Because apparently Defo is coming into the studio to record for the Artie Lang Show, a national show. You can hear it here on 940 Wins. Mike Lubitz is here. So we got to wrap up the show, and we barely scratched the surface on anything, even though we've already been talking for an hour and a half.
Now we could do another hour and a half easy.
Easy. I mean, I have a lot of stuff actually I wanted to get to, but
We've gotten through 2 pages of my 17-page notes.
alas, the business pushes us, and we gotta accommodate because it's his website. It's Defoe's website, and
Hey,
he's the one that's coming in next.
He's the man.
Theo George isn't here because he's smoking a freaking cigarette. So
Cancer stick.
we're going to just go on without him. He'll try to jump in before we can get out of here. Who wants to go first?
You know what? I'll go first.
There you go.
The Eye of Sauron.
We've got a young lady named Kathy Wrench Cashwell, a postal worker from North Carolina. Unfortunately, Miss Cashwell, about 10 years ago, was hurt on duty. And she hurt her shoulder, she hurt her arm and her back, and so she claimed that she could not lift above her shoulder. She could not lift the boxes and put them in the little cart and put them in the boxes in the slots. So she was getting, light duty and payment. And then a couple years ago, she filed for disability and was getting a disability check. Unfortunately for her, she was not bright enough where she started posting on her Facebook page her trips. So she posted herself ziplining in Costa Rica with her husband. They saw that. They put it in a file. Then she's really lucky lady. She ends up applying for and getting accepted to The Price is Right. Woo! Oh! Kathy, come on down. So Kathy bids
On a zip line.
and Kathy wins, man. Kathy wins and Kathy gets to play. So Kathy goes up there, and guess what Kathy's going to do? She's spinning that big old wheel. Kathy lifts up her left arm and grabs the wheel way up top and gives that thing a damn good spin. 45 cents. You got to spin again, Kathy, because you're trying to get to that dollar. So she really ramps it up and grabs it with 2 arms. Rips up there and rips that thing down. Ends up with like 90 cents. Great job. Go over there. You get to play bid on the showcase. Unfortunately for her, friends of hers at the post office are watching. Her boss was watching.
What the hell?
And they're figuring out, wait a minute, she can't pick up a box above her shoulder, but she can rip that 1,600-pound wheel and whip it around?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for her, the investigations began, and she's now being charged with fraud,
Oh my.
disability fraud, pension fraud, the whole 9 yards, every fraud they can throw at her. And she's going on trial, and she'll be going to trial real soon. She's lost everything. She lost her job. She's going to lose her disability. She'll probably lose a pension.
Oh my God.
All because she had to be on The Price is Right.
The price is wrong.
So,
Bitch.
come on down, Kathy. You're my Come Mierda of the Week.
Did she even win the showcase?
No, she didn't. So she doesn't have showcase money to fall back on.
Even Drew Carey's like, you suck. Anthony, you want to go next with you? Anyone want to go next?
You go ahead.
I'll go ahead. All right, I've got 2. So my first one's going to be the standard for Come Mierdas right now. Bill Simmons. Bill, you're not my Come Mierda of the Week for saying LeBron is going to Lakers or the Knicks or even Cleveland ahead of Miami. You're not my Come Mierda for saying LeBron wants to be a global icon, and right now he's only really a continental icon.
Even though going to Cleveland would totally make him a global icon.
Yeah, well, you're my
Beautiful
Come
city.
Mierda because at this point you have ruined NBA coverage. You ruined the draft. And all this, you're supposed to be an accredited media member, and you are publicly out there calling for the Lakers to tank an entire season. You're the media, Come Mierda of the Week.
Come Mierda. 2.0.
But
I'll go.
the emotional one. I'm sorry. I have 2.
You know what? That's fine. Go ahead.
I have two.
That's my actually my Come Mierda of the Week is your second one.
you don't even know.
I don't even know.
Justin Bieber, you damned leech. Why are you around everything that sports has? You show up at a Heat game with a $400 hat, never watch the game, don't talk to nobody. Now, I know you're a Canadian hero, pero coño, now you're showing up around the Stanley Cup? That's a treasured trophy. I don't want his ass anywhere near that thing. And he's taking douchey Twitter pictures with it. So Justin Bieber, Come Mierda.
Good one. Baby,
Come
baby.
Mierda.
Anthony, you got one? Come on.
Yeah. I was going to go to the Keys this weekend, but with the new hurricane or tropical storm thing out there, now I'm not allowed to go to the Keys because of the whole raining and thunderstorms and all. So it's the tropical storm Chantel is my Come Mierda of the week.
Come mierda! All right, Anthony.
We hate natural disasters.
All right,
Damn
Bobby.
you, nature. Damn you.
By the way, you've done it better than my brother and a lot of other people. So
And
good
Theo,
job.
and Theo George.
Yeah. Well, we expect that one. George, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Go.
My Come Mierda of the week actually is plural. Come Mierda of the week are all the media and all of us talking about the 2014 freaking NBA.
That was us.
That was, I said us. I said us.
Coño.
I can't wait for football to come around because I don't think anybody's watching baseball anymore. I
Not in
don't.
this room, no.
Not just in this room.
Well, I mean,
in this town.
I sat there and watched that 14-inning game the other day until the 14th inning.
When they lost.
No, I didn't see them lose. I left it 1-1 because I was tired. But I purposely, because of what we're doing, and we talked about watching baseball, I watched the Marlins game off and on.
That's awesome.
And watched the majority of it.
So committed.
Because, we need to be able to talk about
It's
it. But
true.
you're right.
It's true.
Nobody's watching baseball.
Nope, nobody's watching baseball. Not here. Not here.
I have a new segment that I'm going to premiere for next week where I'm a doctor. I'm Dr. Sanchez, and I diagnose different issues. And my first issue, which I'll bring up next week, is why don't people in Miami like baseball?
Great question.
And I have a diagnosis, symptoms, and a solution.
Are you
So
going to give
before-
us that before the show so we can work and prep for answers? Or are you going to just
well,
bring
yeah,
it?
I mean-
Why would we prep?
True, I'm sorry, George.
What's wrong with you?
So finish. Just finish. it off.
Anyway, no, that's it. That's the media and us and everybody who's on talk radio. That the 20 minutes that I get in the car every day to come from work and go to work. I got to listen to what's going to happen in 2014 instead of listening to how good number 17 is going to be. So, anyways, that's my Come Mierda.
You'll never hear that. According to Jaws, he's number 24.
Yes, he is.
What an idiot Jaws is. So, I'm going to end up the show. Again, it's an abbreviated show because we're getting forced out. We got the pros coming in next, but it's all for Defo and DefoRadio.com, so we cannot get mad.
No complaining here.
It's part of it.
I'm glad. I'm tired.
I have two Come Mierdas. My first Come Mierda, Alan already touched on it. It is Justin Bieber. And it's not for the same reason, too.
Yep.
Justin Bieber apparently went to a club and he got drunk, which he's not supposed to because he's still under 21. And he's a model. He's a superstar. So they escort him because they don't want him to be bothered by the regular population, by me and you.
Right.
So they escort him through the back. But Bieber's got to pee. Bieber's got to leak. So what does he do? He doesn't go to a bathroom because he doesn't want to talk to anybody else. He goes into the janitorial mop bucket and pees in the bucket.
Wow.
Right there in the kitchen, just pees in the bucket. He had his security around him, and he's just there urinating in the bucket. Someone, when they get back here, what's that smell? Oh my God, it's Justin Bieber's pee.
That's worth money right there.
Wow. What a...
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Justin Bieber, you douche. You're my Come Mierda of the week.
Número uno.
Come Mierda!
My second and final Come Mierda and the last notes before we head out of here. It's another Zimmerman lawyer update.
I knew that was coming.
These guys keep giving me material.
And it's the same guy over
He
and
keeps
over
giving
and
me
over
material. 2 weeks ago, he was my Come Mierda for saying a knock-knock joke in the opening statement.
Who's there?
Last week, he was my Come Mierda for hashtagging that he killed it in a trial for murder. This week, he's my Come Mierda of the week because he tries to, in court, I know we're trying to get into the 21st century and everything has to be digitalized, but this is a trial. This man's life is on the line. You don't want to mess anything up. So what does he do? He agrees to have a Skype interview with one of the witnesses on Skype.
So they didn't bring the guy in.
Not in. It was on
just-
Skype on a computer in a trial jury. So he links up with him. They start lagging, and it signs off. Now, in the state of Florida, you're allowed to televise TV. So he's there re-signing in, trying to log back in with the guy, and what shows up? The lawyer's account name in for his Skype. So everyone and their mother that's watching this live on TV on Skype chats in on him and keeps popping up. Boop, 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 boop. They ended up having to cancel the whole interview with the witness because they couldn't contact the witness that they wanted because everyone kept interrupting through Skype. This man's life is on the line.
And this is happening.
This is happening to him 3 weeks in a row. That's your lawyer. That's your lawyer. So for that, Zimmerman lawyer, for the third week in a row, you are truly the sense and the essence of come mierda. Come mierda.
Wow.
We have thank yous to say. Thank you to Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
You listen to the show, man. We really appreciate you listening and plugging us in.
Appreciate it.
We got to thank Mike Lubitz. We got to thank Defo, which is here.
Thanks, Mike and Defo.
Yeah, that's Mike Lubitz right there. And Defo.
Oh my God,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I've never seen a picture of him.
Thanks to Defo and DefoRadio.com. Look us up on YouTube, Alan.
The Sports Table Miami.
So much to get to next week. A short show, and we will make it double next week. So look for a 6-hour show.
6-hour show next week.
Yeah, right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.